I'm Sam Henderson. I'm Managing Director of Lomond Foods. As the only B Corp wholesaler in Scotland, I'm only the third in the UK. I'm very passionate about sustainability, where food comes from, the provenance of food. And all of that comes from my background of growing up in the Island of Mull. Mull is really something that's in my soul and in my heart. So the reason that we've come to the Isle of Mull and the reason we have invited some of the top chefs from around Scotland is to really focus in on the wonderful produce that Scotland, the Hebrides and the Isle of Mull in particular have to offer. We really want to connect these chefs who are aware to some degree of what's there but haven't really immersed themselves in the manufacturing of the produce and the effort that goes in from these local communities to make a product that is so good. So we've got 15 of these top chefs from wonderful businesses who really understand sustainability. This fits in with our ethos to take produce from the land that is sustainable. It doesn't just take but gives back, and not just to the land but to the communities that it comes from. We're very keen to champion that as we go forward, and from our understanding and conversations, all the chefs we've spoken to, they're very keen on that as well. And their customers, the diners, everybody wants to know where the food comes from, how it's been raised, what care's gone into it, and at the end of the day, we basically want to know that it tastes good, and it does. It's phenomenal. It brings me a great deal of joy to see the passion that I have for the island and for the produce that is grown here, coming alive in the eyes of the chefs when they see it. When they see the people involved, when they see the care that goes into every single product, they can actually, understand the island and try and bring that ethos across on the menus.
We are Sally and Scott from the Tobermory Fish Company on the Isle of Mull. For the past 10 years, but really focusing on the last 5 years, I've been so passionate about sharing what Mull has to offer in the terms of produce. I think that some of the produce here could be the best in Scotland, in the country, and some in the world. So today we had a lunch at Hebridean Lodge. The starter, they had Tobermory smoked trout with Guinness bread, hot smoked tikka salmon and smoked mussel patty.
Main course was a fillet of Glengorb's beef with a pie with pulled beef inside it.
Hebridean Lodge are very good at showcasing local produce.
Yeah.
To have Lomond bring these chefs and just to showcase some of the main producers is just really incredible. And to hear the feedback, they are just loving it. They're loving this journey. It's hyped us up. We're ready to go, and they want to see more, they want to know more, they want to know everything, and we're ready to tell them.
One of the chefs told me it was the nicest smoked salmon he's ever tried, which is real kind of...
And from chefs of that standard, it justifies what we're doing and just it makes us more passionate and hungry for success and wanting to see our products go far.
I've seen how much it means to Sally as well, just from the kind of family heritage side of things, and knowing that her grandparents will be proud of what it is that we're doing together. So yeah, very, very proud moment to hear that kind of feedback.
My name is Brendan Reid, live here at Skibberrow Farm, Tobermory. We've been producing Isle of Mull cheese for 45 plus years, and it gets right around the world. We're very proud of that. The cheese is lactose free. All the lactose is left in the way, and that's the sugar. We are at the moment fermenting that sugar, turning it into alcohol to create some new wonderful drinks we have over there. We've got vodka and whiskey. We also produce Hebridean cream. Why is the cheese so good? Well, it's made on the Isle of Mull. No, cheese is one of those foods that depends 100% on the area that it's produced in. Because we use raw milk to produce the cheese, the bacteria that create the taste and the textures live here. The terroir is something we talk about with cheese and wine. It'll be the same with the shellfish and all the other kinds of foods that are produced on the island. And they will all be very unique kind of foods,
I'm Suzanne. I'm from Isle of Mull Coffee, and I'm one of the roasters and directors there.
I'm Nikki. I'm the other director of our very young company that we set up together about 3 years ago.
Today, we have been doing a cupping, which is something that we do for quality. So cupping is
it's
activity.
A way of, it's an activity, but it's a way of really tasting the coffee. One of the things about Mull is obviously it's an island. We're quite self-sufficient, and I think everyone has really made an effort to be organic and ethical in their production of food.
Yeah.
And because of that, there's the purity to the food that's produced on Mull. I mean, obviously we have to import our coffee beans, but the way that we produce those and roast those coffee beans
Yeah, we do. We go far and above what a lot of coffee roasters do, with our carbon filtration system, our packaging. And do you know what? The companies that we work with on Mull make it super because they help and share boxes and other products and transport just to help everybody. So we're going for B Corp at the moment because we want to make a difference. That's why we started coffee roasting. We are one of the few, if not the only, coffee roastery that has a carbon filtration system. So we want to make a difference.
My name is Lee Eisler and I'm the seaweed farmer for Erdfata Seaweed Farm on the Isle of Mull. Today we took out 2 groups of chefs to the seaweed farm and we pulled up some lines of sugar kelp and winged kelp and did a fresh tasting of both species, a dried tasting, and then tasted some oat cakes with dulse and some shortbread with winged kelp mixed in. There's over 600 species of seaweed in the UK, and I did say at one point it's like, oh, I've tried seaweed in something, and if people don't know which species they're using, they might as well say, oh, I've used a brassica instead of saying, oh, cabbage sprouts, that kind of thing. So it's been a very positive reaction and an excellent acknowledgement of the different flavour profiles of different kelp species that we grow. It's something I would love to see highlighted more often. Scotland has such beautiful, pristine, clean waters. We are so suited to growing seaweed at scale. And we are able to grow so many different types of seaweed as well. We would love to see seaweed as a food product as a branch for Erdfata Seaweed Farm alongside all the other applications for the seaweed that we can grow. It's grown on Mull by the Mull community. We are a community-owned seaweed farm, and it's about developing an alternative industry that has just further employment opportunities. And Mull being a home for ingredients, we're moving from strength to strength as an island, and we have always been well known for our seafood, so it's about time that we became well known for our seaweed as well.
During this trip, we worked our way through various restaurants that all promote and champion these wonderful local products from Mull. We started off in Cafe Fish, focused very much on seafood, and Liz and her team there produced a phenomenal meal. And we also went to Callan, which was a wonderful fine dining restaurant by Ross and his team. And they treated us an absolute extravaganza of what is best about the produce from Isle of Mull. Organic, locally foraged products. One of the other phenomenal places that we've visited was Ninth Wave. Carla is a phenomenal chef who is probably leading the way in sustainability and local sourcing in Scotland. Her husband John still fishes, and he goes out and brings in all the local seafood, and her herb garden is full of products from around the world. All of the chefs were blown away by just how good her products are and how much creativity she puts into the dishes that she puts on the plate.
I am Ross Gaithness. I run Ancala Cune. We are fine dining, trying to use the best of the quality ingredients on this island. We specialise in tasting menus, going from everywhere from the land to the sea and everywhere in between. We include the distillery in our menus, we include the cheese farm, and we include the foraging sort of products around the island during the season as well. I was in Mull about 8 years ago now. I came up to help out a friend that was a chef in another little restaurant, Cafe Fish. It was supposed to be maybe a couple of days just to kind of help out. Fell in love with the town and the area and ended up staying for the season. All right, from then went on to kind of going to work under some of the really, really good restaurants around Scotland and the UK. And I ended up back here. Our food miles are minimal. What we get around the seasons, we try and forage quite a lot ourselves as well when it comes to mushrooms, wild garlic. There are certain things that will be on the menu almost year round. Venison is one of these things that there is so much deer on this island, and it is dangerous how much deer are on the island. We can always get our hands on it. Just now, we deal with Glengorm Estate for all of our beef, lamb and venison. Just now we just got our first full lamb of the season in just the other week, and it is absolutely stunning produce out there. We do have such excellent produce to offer, and you can do so much with it. What Mull is producing has a place on any menu. Doesn't matter whether it's a bistro, whether it's a cafe, or whether it's a 3 Michelin star restaurant. you have restaurants throughout the UK, throughout Scotland and into London, into these places that are using produce from this island. Why is there nowhere trying to showcase that in the place that it comes from? And this is what we are trying to do. We are trying to showcase that Mull isn't just somewhere for great produce, but it's also somewhere that you can come for a great culinary experience as well.
I'm Chef Carla Lomond. I own the restaurant The Ninth Wave with my husband Johnny, who's a rugged Scottish fisherman, and we live on the Isle of Mull, which is a haven for food fanatics. It's sort of like the old version of a restaurant where people put a sign outside, and if you wanted to come and eat the chef's cooking, you would. It's just sort of a symbiotic relationship between fresh Scottish produce and our culinary travels in the winter. We just pick a country and eat our way across it. And I try and incorporate lots of interesting things that I find there. And we try and grow some of the ingredients. Our ethos is where luxury meets sustainability, and the whole thing we do, growing all our own things, and that is sustainability. You can't get much slower in the slow food game. There's the garden, there's the restaurant. The boat is just over the hill, and that's great. We were runner-up in the Sustainability Award for all of Great Britain, so yeah, we do our part, and I think it's important for the planet, and that's where the best food is anyway. The island influences our menu quite a bit because we only have proteins, seafood, and organic meats from the Isle of Mull. There's so many good producers here that you can basically pick every protein and tailor your dish around their wonderful produce. There's Glengorm beef. Johnny's got his own fishing boat, so he catches all sorts of crab, lobster, and sea urchin and octopus that we use on the menu. We are just so spoiled here for the choice of produce. Everything from meats to seafoods. We've got a smokery here. We've got places that produce lovely seaweed products. The list is endless, so it is a cornucopia of delights.
Why I fell in love with Scotland 25 years ago, it's because of moments like this weekend. You know, the food scenery in Scotland, I think it's unbelievable. You got the best of the best. And that trip to Mull today is a reminder with the local supplier, the way they're caring, the way they're telling the story about the seaweed, the coffee, you know, the smoked salmon, the smoked trout. I think, wow, you know, it's mind-blowing.
The thing that has been really impressive for me is the passion of the producers, the chefs, the people that we've come across for their produce and you know, what they do and what they're trying, the stories they're trying to tell and what they're trying to get across to us has been amazing.
It's been really humbling, so it has, just the whole experience and just the passion that everybody has about everything is amazing. Produce that we have in Scotland is phenomenal, from the cheese till the smokehouse till the seaweed, just everything's been fantastic.
The one thing that has become very apparent right throughout our first visit to the cheese and the smokehouse is the passion each and every one of them have for their product and how they champion it. And to be honest, what they've got on their doorstep is second to none. And that's been reflected in the food that we've eaten and the experience.
The seafood that we had on the first night in the fish restaurant just over here was fantastic, and I don't know how the chef did it out of that one little tiny kitchen, one guy on his own. I'm going to hire him. But yeah, just everything we had, the tasting menu we had last night, fantastic. Just seeing what everyone's doing with those products, it's brilliant.
Using Scottish produce is really important. We definitely need to champion what Scotland and what Mull can offer, because it truly is unique its own way, and there is something you can never find anywhere else.
You really get to see like the craftsmanship behind it all. We take it for granted so easily that the produce that we use is readily available, but the work that goes into it and the passion that these people have for their specific product, and it's really nice because you see everybody championing each other's items, and it's truly remarkable. We're incredibly fortunate to be part of it, and be able to have these suppliers readily available to us, and especially through Lomond, be able to connect us with them.
It's been a real eye opener
It really puts a story to the produce that we've been using for so many years that genuinely we don't know too much about. I just want to tell the world what they do, and whatever way I can do it, I'm more than happy to.
The absolute passion I have for Mull is a place I want other people to share in that. I want other people to understand just how good things can be when they're done right. When passionate people start to create food, when they look after animals, when they produce cheese, when they produce smoked fish, whatever it is they do, or whether they open restaurants that champion local foods, when they forage for products that are round about them, it tastes 100 times better than anything you've ever had before. You know, if you've not experienced it, you need to come here.